Uh, Good day, everyone. Today is October the 9th, okay? And we're moving along with our synopsis of Game Changer, okay? The new model of relationships, how to love with your head instead of your heart. I'm one of the co-authors, Sandra Alexei Morin, and Michael Hellier was the other author, and he has got a different focus and has gone on with his life and other goals. And so I'm going to be here, and I'm still working Game Changer. I actually have a book signing in October at Coles Indigo in Spruce Grove, Alberta. So I'll give you more details on that later. You can come and actually pick up a signed copy. But today we're actually going to discuss chapter 7. And this is where it gets real. This is called The Business of Relationships, okay? And Robert Sharman has a quote, "The business of business is relationships. The business of life is human connection." Robin S. Sharman. This is the chapter where it really gets real. By now, you've met somebody, you've done the self-discovery together, you've done the tree of partnership, and now it gets down. So if we are going to get into this relationship, how are we going to move forward? Okay, so what we're going to look at is putting a contract together. We have an example there of what your individual needs are, and the two of you can work it out together. And obviously then there is also an uncoupling strategy. And so that you can uncouple with honor and integrity, okay? One of the things in here, we give an example of how a divorce did go down and what some of the challenges were, for the simple reason that you're in an emotional state, you don't have real clarity of thought. So a lot of times when it comes down to, it's like, okay, have I really looked at everything? Because your accountant and your lawyer can only help you with so much. But there's little things like, and I'm going to say it, so the person who asks for a divorce, okay, they'll say to you, I want you to leave. I'm going to get a divorce. So you have to be really careful when you do leave. And if the person is leaving, there's a big probability that they have somebody else in their life. Not all the time, but they may. And so in one of the circumstances we talk about is where someone did leave the home and was in a frenzy because still was working, had to find a place to live, bought when the prices were high. So you might want to think about renting before you do anything. Again, it's this emotional chaos that you're going through. And a few weeks later, somebody else moved into this man's house. And another thing is, if you are going to, and I don't care what age it is, if you in fact do have to uncouple, this is business, okay? And it's about truth, about authenticity. And so what you want to make sure, whatever age the children are, sit them down at the table and talk about it. And whoever is wanting the divorce needs to be honest as to why. Because I'll tell you what, the truth comes out. It doesn't matter if it's 6 months or 2 years or 5 years, it always does come out. And you want to be transparent, authentic, and truthful. Because what are you teaching your children? So say your children are in their teens or in their 20s, they then can go on to think, well, I can just kind of do what I want. So we're talking a lot about integrity. The reason is the biggest investment you will ever make in your life is your relationship, okay? It will make you, it will break you, either financially, physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. So this is a very, very serious chapter, and there's a lot of really neat things to look at, okay? And I suggest you get the book. It's on audio. You can order it on Amazon. We actually, on our YouTube, have a presentation on specifically on the business of relationships that you might want to look at from an investment point of view. So my question to you is, what is your worth and what is your value? So rather than emotionally jumping into a relationship, kind of just sit for a moment, be the observer. Are you reacting? Are you acting? Are you responding? What are you really doing? Like, and that's why it was like how to get into a relationship with your head, because a lot of times it's just an emotional reaction. So if you can balance the brains, the left and right brain, use the head, use the heart, and look at it from an investment point of view. And that's not being cold, that's just being realistic when we're in such a time of high divorce, okay? And I actually had started writing the book by myself about 7 or 8 years ago because I've been an author. And so I seen the challenges in relationship. I'm an astrologer, a business and spiritual coach. And I seen the devastation of divorce within the couples, but within the families also. And so we're moving into a more of an Aquarian, egalitarian energy for relationships as opposed to the codependency, okay? And so I do hope you take the time and have a look at the book. Like I say, it's on audio, whatever, and there's a lot of good information from a business perspective. But I do want to say one thing, however, everything in life is a relationship. The first relationship is with you, then you'll have a relationship with your family, your soul family, your biological family, then you're going to have an intimate partner, you have relationships at work, okay? And then you're going to have relationship with your family, you'll have social relationships, and there's business relationships, okay? And one of the things is you have to be able to, it's not about confrontation, but it's about really being authentic, transparent, and having a voice into what you have so that you don't get caught a few years down the road. But remember, everybody changes and things change. So this, the Charter of Love, it's called, is really a protection for both people, okay? Another big thing is, I just want to mention before I go, is people that do divorce, okay, they don't look at it because, again, it's emotional. And so say you have children, there's you and your wife and you have children. You have to remember, you might have spent 20, 30 years building yourself, like financially. Now you have 2, 4, I don't know how many children you have, but the moment you split up, what happens if one of the partners brings another partner in and they have children and you've just paid your spouse out, and that could be either woman or man, you know, $500,000, $1 million, whatever. So now you have diluted your inheritance to your children. So that is something you would look at and talk to a lawyer about, is that, you know, if I'm giving you this much money, okay, we had made a decision that it would go to the children. So that's another big thing to look at. So I hope that you find this knowledgeable, interesting, and I hope you would like it and share and look at subscribing to our YouTube. And I have some exciting news coming up that this is, chapter 7. So I have 4 more chapters, and then we'll be starting some interviews, and we're going to be doing a special course online. So have yourself a wonderful day, and take care.